Now, in order to consider Amendment Number 46, printed in Part A of House Report 115-650. For what purpose does the gentleman from Tennessee seek recognition?
To affirm what the Speaker already knows, that I have an amendment at the desk.
The clerk will designate the amendment.
Amendment number 46, printed in Part A of House Report number 115-650, offered by Cohen of Tennessee.
Pursuant to House Resolution 839, the gentleman from Tennessee, Mr. Cohen, and a member opposed, each will control 5 minutes. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Tennessee.
I would ask unanimous consent that the amendment be modified by the form that I have placed at the desk.
Clerk will report the modification.
Modification to Amendment number 46, printed in Part A of House Report number 115-650.
I would ask unanimous consent that we not listen to any more of the modification, but continue on to debate.
Without objection, the reading is dispensed with.
Is there objection
To the modification?
Hearing none, the gentleman from Tennessee is recognized.
Hearing none, the gentleman from
Without
Tennessee.
objection, the amendment is modified.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in support of this bipartisan,
Amendment is
bicameral
modified.
amendment offered with my colleague on the Aviation Subcommittee, Mr. Woodall, and spearheaded in the Senate by former military pilot, mother and great members Tammy Duckworth of Illinois and Senator Perdue. This amendment is common sense and ensures the safety of the flying public. Our bipartisan amendment streamlines an onerous process that has led to unintended burdens and delays on State Department of Motor Vehicles across the country and delays in getting prospective pilots eligible for employment. To be clear, this amendment does nothing to remove protections to pilots and their privacy already in federal law. In 1996, Congress passed the Pilot Records Improvement Act, which mandated the airlines obtain driving records of all prospective employees from the National Driver Registry. An unintended consequence came about, requiring only the chief state licensing official could approve such request. This has caused delays at DMVs, and currently most employees have to request these records from Missouri, since they are the sole state still willing to access the National Driver's Registry for requests from all parties. That is not what was intended, and it requires a simple and technical fix that this amendment does bring about. That 1996 law clearly and strictly stipulated the written consent that airlines require from pilots before obtaining their records and spells out strict guidelines on the privacy and use of that information. They cannot sell that information. With that, I support the amendment and ask that we approve that it be voted on and approved. And I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman reserves the balance of his time. For what purpose does the gentleman from Pennsylvania seek recognition?
Mr. Chairman, I rise to claim time in opposition to the amendment, even though I do not oppose the amendment.
The gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, or Mr. Chairman. I thank the gentleman for offering this amendment. This amendment would streamline the process for airlines to obtain information from the National Driver Registry, airline pilots seeking employment. I thank the gentleman for offering this amendment. I urge all of my colleagues to support this amendment, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. The gentleman from Tennessee is recognized.
I would just like to take my remaining time to thank Mr. Schuster for his work on this bill, and Mr. DeFazio for his work too. They did bring about an excellent bill that I'm proud to support, and I've been proud to be a member of the committee with Mr. Schuster as the chair. He's done an outstanding job and done his father's memory as a great chairman even greater honor. And I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman yields back the balance of time. The question is on the amendment as modified offered by the gentleman from Tennessee. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. The amendment is agreed to.